the Avs swept the Predators so hard it gave me COVID. Avs win 5-3 over the Nashville Predators to take the series 4-0.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
I know this video is ridiculously late, so apologies to anyone who's been waiting on it, and most of you probably won't even watch it. But the COVID kind of kept me from being able to talk for a couple days, so I got to it when I could, and I wanted to make sure I get every single playoff game with a video attached to it. So I'm doing it for me, as much for anything else. This game obviously completed the sweep for the Avs, and it's hard not to feel great about this team right now. The first period felt like a lot of this series has felt. For the most part, it was Avalanche domination, and it came quickly. To start this game off, the Avs score a goal so well, it actually goes through the net. Burakovsky has very quietly been good at this entire series. He tracks a puck, he's the only one anywhere near it, collects it, keeps the play alive and going the right direction for the Avs. As he pulls up along the half wall here, you get a miscommunication from Nashville. Ekholm is expecting a switch that just doesn't come here, so it leaves a ton of room for Burakovsky to walk all the way into the circles and pull the trigger. You like to see Berkey pulling the trigger. He does that when he's confident. He not only hits the net here, he rips it through the net. At the time, it gets called a no goal. On the replay, though, very hard to see, but you can this is the streak of the puck here. When I play it again, you'll see it go in, and then you'll see it slam. That is a goal. That thing is inside of the net, and it somehow just peeks through, rips the net open, and falls in behind it. With the power of hindsight, that's a nice goal to see Berkey get. He could end up being a key piece in future series as a depth scoring option. You'd love to see him get it going. The Avs would outshoot the Preds 13-6 in the first period. You know it, you love it. It's what the Avs do. Unfortunately, they do give up that late goal in the first, something they've avoided for the most part in these playoffs. Not this time. Avs had actually been pretty good in the face-off circles this series. They were not in this game. They lose this one clean, and Nashville is able to run their set play along the wall. It doesn't work very well, but the Avs get put in a weird spot with a just whiff from Nico Sturm. This is a tough play. You need a clear there, but it's never even an issue if you just won the initial face-off. The Avs coverage gets a little bit weird with Sturm caught along the wall. Comfort just gets burned behind the play, and then you catch both Avs defenders floating in kind of no man's land here. You'd like to see Girard step up a little bit quicker, a little bit more aggressively here, but it leaves enough room for the centering pass and ultimately a goal that gets by Frankie. The second period was Nashville playing all out. This was it. If they lose, they go home. So they gave the Avs everything they had in the second period. Avs, we've already established, everything Nashville has puts them to maybe a coin flip with the Avalanche when the Avs aren't bringing it 100%. At the end of the day, the Predators might have Roman Josi, but they don't have Cale Makar. When people talk about elite forwards, they talk about their ability to disappear. Well, Cale Makar, as a defenseman, has that ability. After outwaiting a full change here, he finds Compher up the wall, who goes in deep, and eventually finds Makar back at the point. Nashville committing 4 deep, and they have to, because the Avs have committed 4 players deep, with Devon Toews joining the rush. It's just so hard to defend the Avs like this, but where they really get caught is the 5th man. Overcommitting deep in the zone. That opens up room not only for Makar to collect the puck, but gives him a clear lane and time to collect, pick his spot, and then this is just an elite shot. Bar and in. Absolutely ridiculous. Makar would add an assist later in the game to have a 10-point series in 4 games as a defenseman. That is legitimately insane. You may never see that again in like the next 30 years. It's actually crazy. The Avs get back the 2-1 lead, but it does not last very long. Nashville finally in this game starting to get here and there a little bit of sustained offensive zone pressure. The Avs just get caught in a bad change here. They're late on it with Nashville breaking up. It is a little bit of an odd man rush, but the bigger problem really here is that Girard wasn't able to get on the ice and up to speed. So they get beat up the ice cleanly here. Obviously, this is a grade A chance. The initial one is a fantastic save from Frankie, but the Avs kind of get unlucky, kind of make poor play. This is a puck up in midair, so it's a hard rebound for Girard to handle. Landy comes in to assist as well. He also fails to play the puck effectively. But you really wanted to see here from one of these two is take the body. Do not let Trenin get an opportunity to really play this puck. Instead, they both whack at a bouncing puck. They both fail to hit it, and all of a sudden, Trenin finds himself turning around with the puck in the circles. This time, Frankie can't bail him out. It's 2-2 going into the third period. Keep in mind at this point, Nashville had never led in the series. So when they come out strong early in the third and get that lead, this is the first time in well over 200 minutes that Nashville leads. Mikko with clean possession of the puck in his own zone. This should be a full clear all the way down the ice. It's a failure as it kicks off of Cale, who then just pokes it ahead, trying to get it to MacKinnon. An icing would have been a better situation than this, as one, you have MacKinnon and Mikko trying to sneak off, Avs trying to sneak another change. This has already cost them once in this game. And then you get the defensive side of this, where they walk in and just get beat to the outside. If we back that up again, you just can't see anyone get beat like that. It's Val Nichushkin, by the way. Does not happen often to Val. He kind of overcommits trying to get involved with this pass up high in a 3-on-3 spot because of those bad changes, and then Val just gets caught behind the play. Duchesne just motors right by him because Val's momentum is going the wrong way, and it's tough. Taves in a tough spot. He has to take Duchesne here. Val just gets torched. Obviously nothing Frankie can do on a backdoor play like that. Honestly, I think this played out perfectly for the Avs. Obviously, you don't love them falling behind. You'd rather see them just win from ahead. Yes, but the reality of these playoffs is sometimes you're going to have to play from behind, and we got to see a different side of the Avs in these playoffs against the Predators in this third period. And they answered the bell to a T. It could not have gone much better once they fell behind. Within 5 minutes, they managed to tie it up, and of course, it's their defense's ability to jump in and be a part of the offense that gets it done. Nashville actually backs off the zone entry hard here, giving Berkey a lot of room, and EJ, the third man in, gives them a good option. Now, EJ skates straight to the corner here, something that I generally hate, and often does not end up with a good spot for the Avs. It's hard to make plays from here, but they get all 4 Nashville players committed down low. Obviously, there's a 5th. I can't see this on camera, but Taves has gotten away from the 5th man. So when EJ curls up here, he recognizes Taves is up there. He recognizes he can hit him in the middle of the ice, and from there, well, things are pretty straightforward. Taves walks in, he's been money all series, and he's money here again. It's extremely impressive how quickly the Avs shifted the momentum back to themselves despite falling behind for the first time in the series. And once they got that goal, it was off to the races. Everyone knew where this game was heading. The Avs are just better than Nashville, and they proved it with the game-winning goal. Avs breaking in, once again, Nashville super soft on the blue line. You've noticed they've changed this from earlier in the series where they were stiff about it, and the Avs were beating them by getting in deep with their legs. So now Nashville backing off, it creates plays like this where they can get the puck in deep, they can win a battle, and then things break down. Nashville, again, for the 3rd time in this game, probably overcommitting too deep in their zone. Nearly 4 players along the goal line. They get it back up to a player like Cale Makar, who absolutely destroys the man in front of him. Just gone into the ether. Walks in, and with 2 guys that arguably should be in the passing lane, Berkey is taking up one of them, but Makar's just a freak. He can see things no one else can see. Val Nichushkin wide open at the far hash marks, hits him perfectly. Roman Josi can't stop anything. The Avs get the game-winning goal. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even think Nashville played the defense that poorly on that play. They just got beat. That's all there is to it. You would add the empty netter late from Nathan MacKinnon because, of course, that dude deserves it. And that is your 5-3 final, and the Avs get the sweep. I really don't think this series could have played out any better from the Avs top to bottom. They had their blowout games that make them feel real good about themselves. They had their close games that they still found ways to win, including in overtime. And in this one, now they add a come-from-behind-ish win where they're down 1 in the third period and find a way to win. The Avs are showing that versatility, and yes, Nashville is a team that you expect them to beat, but I don't know what else they could have done in the first round. Yeah, they still have to do in the second round, and if they make it there, the third and the finals, of course, but for what they have played so far, this has been ideal. Of course, we're well separated from the series now. Somehow we still don't have an official schedule for the second round because 5 of the 8 series went to Game 7 in round 1, but we do know the Avs are playing the St. Louis Blues. And on the Avs front, Darcy Kemper is fine and good to go for the series. So the Blues are going to get the Avs at absolute full strength. Now all the Avs have to do is go out there and play their game. If they do that, they will win round 2. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and I don't recommend COVID.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the babe. The fun isn't over yet. It is Avalanche time.